This program is brought to you in part by a grant from Civic Lubbock and American National Bank, CNS Incorporated, Studio West, and Hunton Insurance Agency. Proud supporters of 24 Frames and Texas Tech Public Media. On this very special edition of 24 Frames that we filmed live at the Blue Light, amazing performances by Slow Relics, Kenneth O'Meara, and Daniel Markham. 24 Frames starts right now. Tonight is a very special night. 24 Frames is here at the Blue Light. It is a huge honor to be here, and first and foremost, we have sponsors to thank. So I want to thank CNS Incorporated, Studio West, American National Bank, and Hunton Insurance. My name is Paul Hunton. I'm the creator and host of 24 Frames, and it's just a huge honor to be here. A huge shout out to the Blue Light, to Dustin Six, and all of the crew here at the Blue Light. We have a really special night of music for you. Slow Relics are here. Kenneth O'Meara is here, and Daniel Markham is here. So a big shout out for all of those folks. It's a really special night for us at 24 Frames. Last year we set about an Indiegogo campaign to raise funds to be able to do events like this, which is a really big deal. Since I've moved here in 2011, the one thing that is just self-evident is that Lubbock music is amazing and awesome and is very much happening all around you. On 24 Frames, we've been lucky enough to be sort of ingrained in the art and music culture here in Lubbock, and it's just been a phenomenal thing. There are so many talented musicians and artists and people just doing what they love, and we are very happy to be able to broadcast that every Saturday night. So without further ado, let's get started. Our first group tonight is Slow Relics. So if you guys want to come on up, they will take their place. I will grab this mic. I want to start, Michael, tell me a little bit about how Slow Relics came to be.
I kind of started out as a solo musician, just writing on my own, put an EP together and put it out, recorded on my own, and decided to get the band together and start playing shows, and I fortunately met Nick and the rest of the guys here. And this is actually our first full band show, but it's going to be interesting.
There's a first time for everything, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how did that develop? Were you just like reach out to friends and other musicians that you knew? Or?
Kind of, yeah. I've played in a few other bands in town, and came here one night and saw Nick playing, and then kind of met him, and that was awesome.
Yeah, Nick, you described yourself as a music slut. You want to tell me what that means?
Well, you said horn it around with all the... Yeah, I enjoy playing music with a lot of different people, and I'm fortunate enough that my primary instrument's trumpet. I'm going to be hacking away on some other stuff tonight, but I'm fortunate enough that a lot of people can envision trumpet with their music in Lubbock, and they allow me to at least try to do something on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of you guys have been on 24 Frames before. You did a solo performance on our South Plains Sessions, which is the music part of the show that happens. You were in the Thrift Store Cowboys show. You played their last show here in Lubbock.
Yeah,
so you guys have both been on the show.
Yeah, that was something else. I mean, I've been a huge Thrift Store fan for pretty much their entire career in Lubbock, and used to play over at Clouseau's next door, actually, with another band, and we'd kind of be passing sometimes. They'd be loading their stuff in as we're getting ours out, and huge fan, and that was like surreal to be able to play with those guys.
There's this sort of paradox in Lubbock where it's like one of those things where everyone's like trying to get out, but then there's obviously also just a great scene here. What is that like for you as a musician to be like, this is your home, this is the place you play, but having that sort of pull to expand outward?
Right, yeah. I really love playing in Lubbock. I've only played here probably about the last year and a half or so as a solo musician, and I've been very well accepted and really put into the part of the whole community here, and everybody is really close. It's something that's very good about Lubbock.
Without further ado, Michael Lambert, Slow Relics. Here we go.
And I just wanted to, again, thank 24 Frames for coming out here, taping this event. This is amazing. The song is called Hearts Are Gold.
Arms are crossed, and lines are crossed and pulled, and eyes are lost, and lips are fold, and I'll be gone for good. Lungs half empty, and mine are half full of smoke. Words half empty, and mine are half full of smoke, and will be gone for good. Knees are bent, and truths are bent and bruised, and hearts are gold, and ours are gold and used, and will be gone for good.
Thank you.
Next up tonight, we have, and real quick, for those of you that just came in, we are 24 Frames. It is a show that is about music, art, and culture on PBS. It airs Saturdays at 9 p.m. This is a live taping, so if you didn't know that you walked into a television show, you have walked into a television show. So, but don't feel like you can't take part. This is an awesome music event, so feel free to come up to the stage. Don't make that awkward distance between yourself and the musician. I'm sure they would love for you to come up and say hi. So without further ado, next up, it is with great pleasure I welcome Mr. Kenneth O'Meara. Kenneth, come on up. Let's hear it for Kenneth. Grab that microphone, sir. Kenneth, before you start playing, I have a few questions for you. First off, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were the first winner of the Blue Light Live singer-songwriter competition. Is that correct?
I guess the current round of songwriting competitions that they've done, I think there was an earlier version of it, and then they took a couple years off and had like a karaoke night. And then Brandon Adams.
Everyone likes karaoke, Kenneth.
Yeah. Well, Brandon Adams and Will Green started it back up again, and that first season I won the competition.
That's awesome. So this is kind of full circle if we want to look at it this way, because you won that singer-songwriter competition, and then this is going to be your last show before you move away.
Yeah, more than likely, I'm moving to Dallas on May 7th, so, y'all didn't know it, but this is my going away party. I appreciate you coming.
Let's hear it. We got to, yeah. It's sad. We're not cheering because you're leaving.
It's bittersweet.
We're cheering because we're here, and we get to see it. So tell me a little bit about the album God of Wind.
It actually started with winning the songwriting competition, because one of the prizes was being able to get a song on the radio. And me and a good buddy of mine, Charlie Stout, recorded Head Sick Highway and put it on the radio, and this just decided that we wanted to keep working on the record. It took us like 4 years, and we did it all ourselves, recorded it, produced it, got a lot of great musicians down in the basement where we recorded it.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that's real prominent on the album, it's called God of Wind. And what I really love about it, and we had Terry Allen on the show, and Terry Allen talks about what it's like to make music out in West Texas and how you sort of write to that space that we have out here. We have such great space. Some people see it as that it's boring and flat. I see it as it's wonderful open space. And he says the writing kind of comes out, the music kind of comes out of that space. Is that something you kind of see in your music?
Yeah, definitely. And I think also just listening to guys that come out of this area, you're naturally going to, emulate some of them. But Terry Allen's one of them. Andy Wilkinson's a great writer from here. There's a lot of fantastic writers and musicians. And when you listen to those guys and also living out here, I think, like you said, there's a big creative space out here, and I think it kind of shows in the music.
Absolutely. Well, let's hear some of that music now. So, guys, let's hear it for Kenneth O'Meara.
I guess the moral of the story is just be nice to people. But I do appreciate Daniel a lot, encouraging me to play over the years. So. On the outskirts of Lubbock, on the east side of town, there's a sleeping population 6 feet underground. And some are just youngins, and others they died old. The grass just grows right over them, it's protection from the cold. The old man sharpens up the blades on his old John Deere. He cuts that cemetery grass as he's done for 30 years. And he could cut that grass while he's sleeping. He might as well be, 'cause he hears her calling out his name as if it were a dream. And lovers crying out from beneath the hardened clay, while the living pray to God they'll be united one fine day. And at the bottom of a hill sits a man-made lake where the old man is feeding ducks on his lunch break. Some headstones are taller, shinier and new, as if they were trying to get a better view. He feels her eyes upon him as he throws a piece of bread, asking why he let her die, so much left unsaid. And there's a picture of Jesus on a cemetery sign. And every time before he leaves, stares him in the eye. He knows it's just a picture, but he prays with all his might. If he feels he's been forgiven, he'll sleep better at night. On the outskirts of Lubbock, on the east side of town, there's a sleeping population 6 feet underground. Some are just youngins, and others they died old. The grass just grows right over them, it's protection from the cold. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, this is probably going to be my last show in Lubbock for a while, so it means a lot to y'all coming out, and I'm happy to be out here at Blue Light tonight. An old farmer with a handful of steel stands alone in a cotton field. He fires shots in the air again and again. He says he's trying to kill the god of wind. Says these fields are just like Babylon. These metal shrines block out the sun, and they surround my land like the wall of Berlin. But I'll never bow down to the god of wind. And I've prayed for sun, and I've prayed for rain, and I've cursed the spinning weather vane. And I prayed forgiveness for my sin. but will never pray to the God of wind. He says they multiply like flies on steak. There's more each time that I awake. With each full circle that still spins, I silently curse the God of wind. Now a sign hangs on a rusty nail. It reads, "Welcome to the Capricorn County Jail." And there's no escape, these bars won't bend, courtesy of the God of wind. And I've prayed for sun and I've prayed for rain, and I've cursed the spinning weather vane. And I prayed forgiveness for my sin, but will never pray to the God of wind. Yes, I prayed forgiveness for my sin, but will never pray to the God of wind. An old farmer with a handful of steel stands alone in a cotton field. He fires shots in the air again and again. He says he's trying to kill the God of wind. He says he's trying to kill the God of wind. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate it. One of my favorite guys in the world, Daniel Markham, is up next. Y'all give another big round for Nick Shute.
For those of you that have come in the last 30 minutes or so, you have walked into the taping of a television show, so be aware that you could and probably will be on television. Having said that, please feel free to get up here and stand around here as these guys jam out in a second. It would be really awesome if we could get some people right. Yeah, jam out. It's like it's 1988. We're going to jam out. So feel free to come up here. I just want to say thank you so much for coming. Looking across the crowd, there's a lot of folks I recognize who have been on the show. Some folks from Beta Moon. Michael Lambert's here and played Slow Relics. Real quick, let's have a hand for Kenneth O'Meara. He did an awesome job. 24 Frames airs Saturday nights at 9 p.m. on PBS Channel 5 on KTTZ TV. And our whole philosophy is that Lubbock is full of amazing artists and musicians. All we do is turn on the camera and you guys present your craft and your work. And so it's a real honor to make the show. It's an honor to live in Lubbock and to work with all of you. So thank you so much. Joining me now on stage to my left is Daniel Markham. So Daniel, it's pretty bitchin' that you guys came out tonight, which is funny because that's the name of your new album.
It is funny, and it is the name of our new album.
Correct. Well, thank you so much for coming. It is an honor that you're here. I remember whenever I came to Lubbock and I was trying to find great musicians here, and one of the first names that kept popping up over and over and over was your name. You've been at it for a very long time here. What is it to, and I know now that you're off in Denton, but what is it like to sort of work and make music in this area and with the people in the Lubbock area?
I like Lubbock. I like to come back here. There's always good bands from here. Forever. It's like a cycle of awesomeness, I guess. And it's cool to revisit. Lubbock is awesome. It's the best town ever.
That's
Forever.
Forever. Real quick, tell me a little bit about the new album. If you could talk a little bit about the creative process behind the new album. It's distinctly different, but also very much the same in sort of what you're progressing and growing in your music.
Yeah, I just wrote a bunch of songs really fast and we recorded them. And like really fast and raw in a studio, and we just wanted to capture that rock and roll magic. Tony Ferrara.
Tony?
It's really easy to learn Daniel's songs. It's really easy to learn songs when they're good. And so it came together very quickly. Came together very well.
So for you musicians out there listening, it is really easy and apparently really fast to be able to make awesome music. Is that a fair assessment?
Sometimes.
And it's also really awesome to live in Lubbock. I think those are the three major points.
I like living in Lubbock. Yes, I do. Do you like Lubbock? All right.
So I think the vibe I'm getting is that we should stop talking and let you play some of your awesome, fast music.
Okay.
Let's do it. All right, guys, without further ado, we'll get going here. Daniel Markham, let's go. Whoa. You got this off of there. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello. This is fun, thank you for coming. This is awesome. There's so many people here. I remember everything, so for days, the heart that beat the night. Closest and the far away, you dig the hole and I fall in. Talk about the outer space and the stoners living down the street. Get so into it. You go and give it all away. What's a face without a pretty name? Don't know nothing. And you try to talk yourself to sleep when there's nobody listening. Leave it all up to the make-believe tonight. Nothing's ever gonna change. Find yourself, live forever. Darkest and the sunny days, knock it down, leave it loving. And you're running out of things to say, but you're never gonna give this up, not for anyone. And you go and give it all away. What's a face without a pretty name? Don't know nothing. But they never have to know about the place where you've been hiding now. So don't let it get you down tonight. sound. I broke like a fever. Love her and leave her. Start to the ground. Love her and leave her. Start to the ground. No, no. Do you suffer through the whole night just the same as me? When you're walking with the shadows, don't you think of me? Your wrists say this ain't the first place you've been. I could see it when you first walked in. You're not the type that's up for talking. Your hips say somebody's got it made. And those eyes, they won't discriminate. Sipping drinks you don't appreciate. And when I think about the things you said, I wanna stick an ice pick through your head. And if you see me laughing, don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Oh, oh, oh. Your friends say I wouldn't get along with you, and your collared shirt is faded through, and there's a band that you're not listening to. Your headset, you're just like everybody else, and your necklace made out of shells is something you can't take with you to hell. And when I think about the things you do, I wanna put a shovel right through you. And if you see me laughing, don't take it personal. And when I think about the things you said, I wanna stick an ice pick through your head. And if you see me laughing, don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh. Oh, thank you very much. I watched the night go by. I hear a crow, I see it fly. And that grow, making death seem oh so beautiful. I watch the trains roll by, talk with the trees, talk to the sky, but I've not lost my mind. I know nothing of the kind. I take the darkest way. I've learned to lose, I've learned to stray, I've learned to keep it cool. Take a step and make a move. But I'm just another guy. I make the best friends when I'm high. I've learned to live a bit, settle down, not give a bit. There's so much left to do. I trade the gray, I trade the blue, I've traded my whole life. Close the door and roll the dice. I watch the night go by. I hear a crow, I see it fly, and all the spiders work, set their traps and leave a mark. I live the busy street. I love the people that I meet. I see the vines that grow, making death seem oh so beautiful. Come and go with me, my love. I'll take you where you like. Even into hell, my love. It all.
This program is brought to you in part by a grant from Civic Lubbock and American National Bank, CNS Incorporated, Studio West, and Hunton Insurance Agency. Proud supporters of 24 Frames and Texas Tech Public Media.